Peace, family. It's your brother Mike X. Just wanted to send this one out to the family. The truth, you know, knowledge is infinite. The nuances, the degrees, the complexities of truth are infinite. Truth is like a superhighway with an infinite number of entrance points and exit points. Many paths that may be called different cultural, religious, spiritual, political names. And those paths are valid. All of them are valid. They're valid to connect to the millions of people who live on this planet. Billions. My fault. Billions of people who live on this planet, who have divine purpose in being alive, who have gifts and skills and talents, who have purpose for being alive. Each one of these paths has the potential of being utilized by an individual to take them from where they're at in their humble beginnings and to allow them to grow and transform and develop and bloom and refine their spirit, their character, their perspective, their outlook, so that they move from being a humble, nothing, to move towards the alignment with the Most High, the Creator, the Architect, the source of this infinite knowledge, this infinite truth, and all of its complexities and nuances and degrees. And it's dope, man, that there are so many paths, that there are so many degrees of truth, that the complexities, man, that will allow you to rise as an individual, as high as you want to rise, as you come into more knowing, if you're committed enough. It's dope, And so the individual should never allow anyone to dictate to them which path to take, what entrance point to use to get on to this super highway of knowledge. You know what I mean? They should reserve the right to utilize their own mind and their own perspective and their own inner urging to dictate, to them, or to guide them, into further knowing, so that they can get the most out of their experience, so that they can get the most out of their own life and not have their life be used by someone who can never know what the best usage of their particular life is to be. You know what I mean? So the individual has to defend that, commit themselves, to growing, It is said, you shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. They attribute that to the figure named Jesus. It is said that you should seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. That one's attributed to the Prophet Muhammad. And there are probably an infinite amount of more sayings, man, that encourage you to continue to grow. You know, one of my favorites, man, that I got long ago was, be not conformed to the ways of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You know what I mean? And I wasn't always a student. I was always interested in knowing, though, but I wasn't always an active student, you know? I've been on this path, man, coming up on 30 years now. And as long as I'm alive, man, I'm going to continue to strive to grow in knowledge, in wisdom, in understanding, in love and truth. And I'm not going to, if I can help it, and I believe that I can, and I believe that the Creator, man, is going to continue to aid me in this process. But I'm not letting anyone dictate to me what beliefs I should be practicing, what knowledge, what truth I should be examining, what school of thought I should have an allegiance to. You know what I mean? And so when people ask me, well, what are you? Are you a Christian? Are you a Muslim? You know what I mean? Are you a 5%er? You know, what are you? You know? Are you an African American? Are you an African? Are you a black man? What are you? I say, family, I'm a student. I'm a student. You know, student for life. I believe that the more knowledge you have, the greater possibilities you have for yourself as an individual to make your life more useful for yourself and then others, and the greater possibilities you have to connect with other people, you know, who may be any of those, who may call themselves any of those things that I just mentioned. You know what I mean? So I have family who are 5%ers. I have family who call themselves Christians. I have family who call themselves Muslims. You know what I mean? I have family who call themselves black nationalists. You know, I have family who call themselves, you know, African spiritualists, you know, or practitioners, pardon me, of Ma'at. You know, I have family who call themselves Buddhists, you know, and I respect their right to be what they claim themselves to be and what they're practicing. That's their right. And if I try to violate them from believing what they believe and practicing what they're practicing, I open myself up to the same thing. Someone striving to violate my right to say that I'm an open-minded seeker of truth. You know what I mean? I don't, you know, anyone who would, you should never discount a school of thought that you haven't taken the time first to examine, to critique, to be able to figure out, is there anything useful for you in that school of thought? Number one, it stops you from extracting whatever jewels that there may be in that school of thought that you can apply to your own life, that you can apply, as a father, as a brother, as a son, as a cousin, as a member of a family, as a member of a community. You know what I mean? And it amazes me, man, that I know there's some very intelligent people, man, on this earth. But the way they practice their learning, their thought process, a lot of times is very rigid, it's very dogmatic, and very narrow-minded. And a lot of times, man, they're so pumped up emotionally, man, they don't even know that they're shortchanging themselves. And by shortchanging themselves, they're shortchanging us as a whole. Their family, their neighbors, their associates, their community, and the world population in general, Like I said, this superhighway of knowledge has many entrance points and many exit points. And you can commit yourself to being a lifelong learner and become very knowledgeable, across a wide range of subjects, which will allow you to begin to have the ability, man, to make the most powerful choices for yourself, to where you can shed light on a whole lot of different things. And not only could you shed light on a whole lot of different things, but you can meet people based upon the truth that you are able to share. And you could build powerful relationships, man, based upon the truth. That will allow us to not only improve our lives, man, but improve the human condition in these neighborhoods. Or you could just fit in, man. You could just fit in with the reality, man, that you're subject to. And I'm so glad that I have this type of perspective, because it frees me to continue to move as an individual, to pursue the most enlightened perspective and usage of my life. You know what I mean? Because once upon a time, I believed that, and I talked about this in the last video that I posted to my YouTube channel. Don't waste your life, family, was the title. I'm so glad that I have this perspective, because once upon a time, I believed more so in a collectivism, an outlook of power starts with mass numbers of people coming together. That power starts there. And to do the best things that we can possibly do, man, to clean up the planet, to bring truth and justice, man, peace and harmony to the planet. We're going to need positive majorities of people who have done the necessary work to subjugate their personal ego. First off, to master themselves. To practice harmony and balance within themselves, to where they don't feel threatened by other people using their gifts and their talents. You know what I mean? And in that, in that, in that comfort, pardon me, in that spiritual growth and transformation that they're practicing, and now they don't feel threatened by other people growing and transforming in their lives, we can begin to create a synergy, you know, a powerful synergy based upon the truth, based upon love, based upon cooperation, based upon harmony, to where we can begin to do wonderful things on this planet. But first, the lowest common denominator is you. Working on yourself, committing yourself to travel that superhighway of knowledge, applying that knowledge to your own life so that you could get the most positive usage out of your own life, growing in wisdom, growing in understanding, freeing yourself so that you can begin to be a vessel of love, of hope, of truth, of faith on this planet. I'm not going to go too far. You know, I'm at 16, going on 17 minutes, man. I want to continue this dialogue. You know, if you're interested in committing yourself or participating in this dialogue, you know, let me know in the comments, man. And even more so than that, let me and let the world know by you beginning to put yourself first, by you beginning to break out of conformity with cliques, you know, with cliques and clubs, man. And, you know, just the status quo, the reality that we're living in, man. A lot of the stuff, man, that's happening on this planet is beneath us, you know. It's beneath us as children of the Most High, you know, as whatever it is that you call yourself. Because, again, I don't have no problem with you being Buddhist, Muslim, Christian, 5%er, you know what I mean, practitioner of Ma'at. You know, that's your business. If that is what your inner urging is calling you to practice at this time, to get the most positive usage out of your life as an individual, so that you can grow in balance and harmony, and then you can overflow that into the world so that we can create that synergy, that positive majority. Yo, that's your business, man. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's all about relationships. I mean, one-on-one relationships, building love and trust, you know, practicing integrity and character, you know, building relationships based upon that. That's how we're going to defeat the bigotry and the prejudice, you know, that a lot of us fall into by choosing one path and then trying to create artificial pecking orders based upon that path. You know, the world is trying to, it has already, and it's trying to maintain the mindset, man, of capturing God, the Most High, in a box and striving to maintain dominance over that box. You know, I got God in this box right here. And if you want to enjoy your relationship with God, then you got to come through me. This is what has been happening all over this planet for hundreds, thousands, I don't know, maybe millions of years. You know what I mean? But I believe that the Most High God, again, is knowledge. And all of its, like I said, complexities and nuances and degrees. Infinite knowledge. And I believe that, you can have as much God as you want to have if you're committed to seeking that alignment, man, through seeking truth from the cradle to the grave, from striving to know the truth that will make you free to make your own best choice. You know what I mean? From turning away from conformity with this world, but committing yourself to being transformed through the renewing of your mind. So anyway, I said I was going to cut this short. I ask you, if you feeling what I'm saying, I ask you, number one, to commit yourself to growing in knowledge and wisdom and understanding, not in an egotistical way, but in a spiritual way, a loving way, where you can begin to shine light and inspiration the way I'm striving to. If you feeling what I'm saying, I ask you to share this video. I'm asking you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'm asking you to continue, family, to keep pushing, to keep striving, to put yourself first, to build a loving relationship with the man or the woman in the mirror, and to inspire or encourage other people to do the same thing. I'm going to talk about this more soon. And of course, if you're willing to build and dialogue, man, let's start making that happen. So having said that, man, I say peace, love, and elevation.